Hi, Christy here with Gardening Volunteers of South Texas. I hope you're intrigued. This is a great yard. I am here at the house with Kathy, and she built this home herself and designed it 16 years ago around her garden. I want you to tell us what intrigued you to do everything you did, front and back. I can't wait for the viewers to see this. So tell me a little bit about your little area right here that you...
Well, this is a courtyard, and I guess the inspiration came from seeing some out in Santa Fe, which they often had courtyards in the front of their house. So that was one option, and I love gardening. Got into it as I built new houses and, created gardens, and just have learned as I went to see what worked well. I also was the last house, we had a large yard, and I was very worried about the amount of water we were using. Did a study for transevaporation, so I'd know how much to water. And when I moved here, I wanted to be sure that the garden had as many drought tolerant plants and also blooming plants, because my goal was to have blooming plants all year long, but I didn't want to plant them all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And everybody loves color all year round. And I did take notice, we have a rain barrel back here.
We do. So when my son was going to UT in '99, I had the opportunity while he was in a orientation to go to a garden up off the Bee Cave Road, and they had my first view of a rain collection system. Nice. Where they collected water. And so this house has been putting that to practice.
Awesome. Well, what are these bottles over here that I see?
So what I have here are called plant nannies. And my first experience with plant nannies was finding them over in Houston when I was visiting my daughter. This is particular for wine bottles. Oh. And so it is designed to go into the dirt, and then you put a bottle in and it fills it up, and the water will get seeped through the terracotta into the plant. I've had some roots of some plants actually attached to the terracotta.
Because trying to get to the water.
So they're only taking what
they need.
What they need. So
how clever. So what a great use of my wine bottles.
Right.
Everybody has wine bottles.
If you don't have wine bottles, there's actually a vendor in town that you can buy blank wine bottles.
Oh, nice.
You don't have to take the labels off.
And then, of course, we all drink soda, so we have these.
Well, and so the idea with that is you have to be careful that you're not having the bottle in when you push it in, otherwise you'll crack the top. Got to use a flat hand and push it into the dirt. The other thing is for plastic bottles, there's a different terracotta spike, and it has a green adapter that goes on the top of the bottle. I can screw it on. So this one does the same thing. It'll fill up the water spike, and then the water will come out when the plant uses the water.
That's awesome.
So I use those as different options. So the wine ones need a deep pot. The water ones you can actually use in a shorter pot. And if you have a really small pot, there is a type of ceramic cone that goes on this spike. And this one you just put you screw this top part onto here. These are nice because I don't have to take it off either time. I can just fill it up that way. You pop this on and you can stick it into the bottle like that, into the plant like that. This is great for shorter pots. Okay. And then you can use a littler bottle.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So those are awesome. And it helps, one, it tells you when the plant really needs additional water. If you're going out of town, you can put 2 or 3 in a pot, and it'll help water your plants while you're gone.
Very nice. Well, let's walk out into your front and let's see how many plants actually have your drinking bottles. And then let's talk about some of your water-saving plants that you incorporated into your landscape. So Kathy, tell me, when you designed your front yard out here, tell me what inspired you to shape it the way it is, and what plants you chose, and what was here maybe when you bought the yard.
Well, there was just dirt here when I bought the property, but the landscaper, I told him what I wanted initially, and so together we picked out drought tolerant. I knew kind of the plants that I liked.
Okay, I see Esperanza right here.
So Esperanza was here, the Yopon hollies, we had the Salvia, the Gulf Muhly grass. But of course, over time, you find things don't work so well in a location. So my irises actually were in the courtyard, but they didn't do as well. So I ended up moving 12 of those into three here and three here and three here and some in the back, and they have just loved it here.
Yeah, obviously. How many do you
irises,
have now?
Well, besides what's here in the front yard, I have a whole bunch in the backyard, and I've given them to all my neighbors.
And I'm looking up and I'm looking at all the beautiful flowers in your crepe myrtle.
Yes, that was one I added later because I had a sun problem with the afternoon sun in August burning my grass. Ooh. So I actually planted this one after the fact.
Well, it's obviously happy here.
It is happy. I had some other crepe myrtles. I think the thing you have to remember is that they come in different sizes and different growth. I really was expecting a smaller one, but sometimes pots always aren't marked right.
Now, I also noticed you have cucumbers, so you did incorporate some vegetables in your garden, and I see your usage of your bottles.
Yes, I have some cucumbers. I also have some squash that seem to love it out here. So I have one cucumber started, and I've already harvested a patty pan squash. Of course, daylilies are also wonderful. They multiply. A lot of what I have has been from one plant that I take and separate and move around.
Nice. And these are petunias, dwarf petunias, right?
Mexican petunias. I have lantana.
Sage.
The lantana's over here. I have the firecracker bush.
Those are always beautiful. I love the pink sage. That is just breathtaking. And you have a lavender crepe myrtle, and you've got the lantanas over here. I really like those colors. There's so many choices now. And you also like to move things around and get them started. And that's also how you use your bottles, right?
That's
Until they
correct.
Get established.
That's right.
Awesome.
So I'd like to show you the result of my trip to Austin.
Oh my gosh. And she's got a vegetable garden too.
So this is my big rain tank. That was my ultimate goal, which I put in 2014.
How many gallons is that?
This is 1,480.
Wow.
And it goes fast, but I did have a pump put in, which allows me to run the sprinkler with this pump, and it will actually water my yard.
Oh, nice. And you got everything marked.
I'm pretty judicious, so I will only run it when I need it.
That's awesome.
And one of the main reasons, the other advantage is if you can use this type of water, the rainwater collection during the winter, you actually save on your sewer bill.
Oh,
because they do winter averaging for 4 months.
Oh, that's another way to save.
Yes, absolutely.
How nice.
So I have really enjoyed having it. It does require that you put in a backflow so that you don't get rainwater back to the city water.
Yeah, that's true too.
And it needs to be inspected every year, which I do.
And look at this, what we are coming up on. Oh gosh. All right, I want to know what's all behind this wrought iron fence out here.
Well, I'm on a green belt, and so there's natural habitat out there.
Gosh, look how pretty that is.
One of the things, a requirement that we had here was to have a wrought iron fence, and I wanted to make it look as pretty as possible.
What is this called?
That's a Chinese fringe plant. I don't know the official name, but it has pretty little
beautiful
flowers a couple times a year.
That is so pretty.
And you can see I have more irises here. There's a cross vine that's starting. My rosemary. And I have another rain tank here, which helps me water.
How many rain tanks is that now?
Garden.
Wow.
And I've started some more tomatoes.
Very impressive. And I love your mountain laurels.
And this is a passion vine.
Oh, look, you're getting a flower.
Oh, I've had flowers, and it seeds, and it spreads a little bit. But
yeah, it looks like you got some new ones growing.
And it will die back in the winter, but it will come back each year. And some pretty sage, which does pretty well. Pretty. Lilies are always good. They're very drought tolerant. They're also, survive through the winter.
And they love the sun.
They do.
Yeah, you've got vegetables mixed in with flowers.
I have parsley and chives, some more tomatoes.
I love it. I love it. And look at this out here. It's so inviting. I want to go over there. You could even have a little wedding out there. Look
That
how
was my
beautiful.
fall project, you know, in COVID. It was to dig up a lot of those rocks, make the beds. Got some of the cedar deadwood trimmed up and chipped and put that out there, and added some grass that was drought tolerant.
You have, is it lemon?
It's a lime, but I need to
tree?
replace it because it is
Yeah, the
coming
freeze
back.
kind of got everybody. Wow, and then
Some
you got your
oregano.
nice hot tub and your little back patio and another rain
Another
barrel.
rain barrel, which feeds over into another rain barrel because there's a lot of rain that comes off of that roof.
Wow, I am just like in awe.
I think one of the things you do have to remember is that you need gutters to collect the water.
Yeah.
You need a downspout.
And here's another tank.
There is another tank.
My gosh, let's walk down here. It just keeps going. How many gallons is this one?
This is 350.
Wow.
And I have another a pump here that I can pump it out with, but I'm going to show you the pump out front for my last rain barrel.
Oh my goodness. Oh, and look, you're getting the little trumpet vines.
Well, that's actually the cross vine. And the difference between the trumpet vine and the cross vine is the trumpet vine will die back in the winter where a cross vine won't.
Oh, well, because I must have
green.
trumpet vine because mine dies on my oak tree.
It stays green all year.
Wow.
And it blooms twice a year, usually in the spring and again in the fall.
I'm impressed. I am so impressed. And this looks so inviting. I bet the deer love you.
They do. You want to go out?
Sure.
It says welcome.
Yeah, it does. She's even got a little hummingbird. Well, I am so enjoying this green belt. My God, this would give somebody a great idea how to maybe actually look like they're extending their yard out. And I'm sure the deer loves this. It's like they come in for a picnic. And you even have solar lights out here. So I bet this is just beautiful in the evening.
It is. It's very nice. I kind of created it last year towards the end of the pandemic, gave me something to do, digging up rocks, making the beds, and then planting things that the deer wouldn't eat, but that were also drought tolerant. So
oh, that was really smart. But this is just breathtaking. I can't thank you enough for sharing your little spot in heaven back here with us.
And as you can see, the irises along the fence, those are still from those original 12 that I had in the courtyard.
Oh my goodness. We're going to start calling her the Irish lady.
Well, not all irises are the same. So these particular ones are purple. They are very pretty.
And the deer don't eat them.
The deer will not eat the flowers.
Yay, we found irises that the deer won't eat. All right, well, let's head back to the front.
Using your sprinkler system just once a week could easily double your water bill. That's because even the smallest system uses more in one cycle than you do indoors all month. Running it twice could easily triple your bill.
So let's talk. Here are 3 ways to save water and money. Most overwatering is due to extra settings on the controller. So stick to one program, one day, one start time. Check your system for leaks by watching it run. 2 minutes per zone. A good irrigator can fix problems, and you can tell him to set your controller to water once a week. Drought-tolerant plants are tougher than you think. Use these plants in your landscape, and you can water once a week or less. SAWS offers free irrigation consultations to evaluate your system, and we can even set your controller for you. Call 704-SAVE to schedule your consultation. Find more water-saving advice and great plants at gardenstylesa.com.
Well, I want to thank Gail for doing that promo on a very short notice. So thank you, Gail. I just want to, as the person responsible for all the rain harvesting, that's I want to thank for the homeowner for knowing all the responsibilities and all the limitations of rainwater harvesting. So that's my piece on that. I know she talked about vines, and you know, I always get a lot of questions about vines. She mentioned passion flower and my favorite, crossvine.
Yes.
What's some of your other ones?
Oh, some other ones. You threw me for a loop. I thought you were going to let me talk about that.
I did tell you this morning.
Well, I like the native honeysuckle, coral honeysuckle. That's a good one. I just got some for the first time in my garden, and it's doing well. It survived the freeze in a pot as a little baby plant. So it's hardy, and it already flowered, and I already had some kind of a caterpillar that was feeding on it. So it's a larval host for something. But there are other vines. I like a very weedy native called sorrel vine.
Mm-hmm.
It moves into a lot of landscapes, and it also creates berries for the birds and is a larval host plant for one of our large moths.
This homeowner had a lot of plants, and I just wanted to mention one that wasn't mentioned in the video is the Mexican marigold. That's an excellent fall flowering plant, and always want to mention fall flowering plant. So that's it. Well, that was the last video, and we're going to wrap it up. I'm going to send it back to Andrew.